How's it going, everyone? College Lefty, and in this video I'm going to be unlocking my 14th Future Star Diamond card. And how I've been able to unlock these Future Stars really quickly is by skipping all the way to the final Showdown boss, entering the AL or NL Showdown. So basically what I'm doing is I've already drafted the team. Of course, in my previous couple of videos I have given some tips on selecting players with a lot of power, potentially trying to get a pitcher that also has some hitting attributes, simply because sometimes when the computer generates those players that you haven't really filled, or the players that are generated for your bench, sometimes they don't necessarily have the most power. So if you can get someone like Shohei Ohtani, who has 80 contact and 80 power right around there against righties for this AL Showdown, then that is something that you should look for. And I did read some of the feedback. I posted this video, or the last video, a video like this, to MLB The Show Nation's website. I posted it to the blog, and I did get some feedback saying that this mode is very challenging. Of course, some people are going to have some challenges in this mode. It's all personal preference. It depends on the hitting settings that you're using. It depends if you're using analog. It depends if you're using zone hitting versus directional hitting. All of those factors are going to come into play. Of course, you're going to have to be able to square up the ball consistently on veteran difficulty in order to complete this mode down by 15 runs. If you're not able to do so, I wouldn't recommend doing this. You are going to lose stubs that way. It costs 1,000 stubs to draft a team, and if you don't end up finishing this in the first try, I mean, you don't get a second chance. It takes your 1,000 stubs, and you do get some stubs for trying it, as well as some XP for trying it, but you're not going to earn the full 1,000 stubs back and the 5,000 XP you would have earned if you are able to complete it. So I wanted to clarify a few things there. Also, I did talk about how in the previous video you want to hit a lot of perfect home runs. You really need to get off to a good start. That is a tip. That is a piece of advice that I would recommend doing. The times that I've failed this, I've hit into more double plays. I started to pop up. The pitcher's confidence is probably the most important factor, because the perks aren't necessarily the greatest perks. If you're skipping all the way to the end, you're not going to be able to upgrade your players or your perks to a better tier, like gold perks or diamond perks. Those will significantly help you. But if you notice, I do have the heart attack quirk, or the quirk that is always active when you are losing in the game. This is the best quirk you can have when you enter the final showdown. Now, if you have this quirk along the way, or you have this perk along the way, you might want to take it off. You might want to apply a different quirk if you're completing each and every mission, each and every individual mission. But it just depends on what your perks are and if those perks will help you for that specific mission. But for Showdown, I've used this silver perk over some of the gold perks that I've had, over some of the diamond perks that I've had. It gives you a contact boost when you're losing. That's very important. If you notice, I am able to score a lot more runs, a lot faster, with less outs, because I'm not hitting the ball right to the fielders. I have that contact boost. I'm getting a lot more perfect hits, and that is a result in those perks as well as my user input. Now, you do have to be extremely consistent with your PCI. I did talk about that, but you have to be able to make contact. You have to be able to lay off pitches and stay patient. I'm going to show you the confidence as we move through this video. I want you to pay attention to when I'm pressing R2. I'm checking out some confidence. There are two different types of confidence in the game. There's individual pitch confidence, which is that blue indicator or blue ring around each individual pitch. And then, of course, the confidence meter in general. And when you start to see the confidence meter rise, it becomes much more difficult to hit in this showdown mode against the computer, even on veteran. So that is my number one piece of advice. That is the main thing that I can give you, because if you are starting all the way from the beginning and just skipping to the end, you don't really get the best perks. Some of the perks that you're going to be able to draft, and I'll show you as an example, once I complete this showdown this first time, we'll hop into another one. But for the most part, the perks, some of them, they don't affect you at all on offense. So those are not perks that you're looking to draft. The next tip I would like to focus on is trying to have some pinch runners on your bench. Of course, you're going to try and use at least one of your bench players as your pinch hitter for your starting pitcher. because most of the time you're not going to get a pitcher that can hit or that has hitting attributes. But you also want to check to see if the players on your reserves, the players that aren't included on your bench, or the players that are auto-generated to your bench have some speed, so that way you can go to a pinch runner late in the game. If I did not go to a pinch runner right there, I might have hit into a double play. I might not have been able to capitalize on the base hit that I had. Now I have 10 outs, so it would have been okay if I hit into a double play. I still feel confident that I would have been able to complete it. But I wanted to provide that as an example because I got Jorge Mateo auto-generated on my bench. I used him with 92 speed. I've recently unlocked his Future Star card and is very good. But if you notice from the box score here, this is the exact same screenshot. I had 16 runs scored, 10 outs remaining, and this was a better showdown run for me. Sometimes throughout playing each and every mission, which I've done so in the showdown, I have failed at the first showdown or the second showdown, just depending on how I'm hitting. If I start to mess up, I pop up a bunch, then I might not pass it. Or the previous showdowns you had like 9 outs, 10 outs to work with. It might be on all-star difficulty and you need to score 4 runs. I felt more confident in just skipping that and doing this type of method and trying to score 7 runs with 20 outs remaining rather than try and score 4 runs with 9 outs, something like that. I just tried to play the ratios or skip to the end when I felt I was most confident that I would be able to complete it. So I want to provide more tips for people that aren't skipping to the end, but I want to show you that it is possible, and a lot of people have given me some feedback letting me know that this mode has been easy for them as well, and some other people have mentioned that this mode is way too challenging. They would never think to skip all the way to the end. They could never try and accomplish it this way, and that's perfectly okay. I'm not bragging about beating the computer on Veteran. I would never brag about beating the computer at all, and I would never brag about beating really anyone online because this is a video game and I'm going to take it for what it's worth. I'm going to play it as what it is, and it's a video game, so that's all I look for. It's a form of entertainment. It's no bragging rights. If I'm better at a video game than somebody else, I don't consider myself a better person than them. I don't view anything like that. I am a mature adult, and I understand that this is a hobby. So just to clear everything, put everything out there, just to cover all the feedback, I wanted to get back into another showdown here. If you notice, I got off to a pretty good start once again. The times I failed this, I did not get off to a pretty good start. So when I titled the last video, this is how you're able to complete Showdown each and every time, well, I showed evidence that I was able to do it multiple times over, but I got off to an early start each and every time. So I wanted to clarify that that's the piece of advice that I'm looking to give out. If you don't get off to an early start where you don't start to hit the baseball, and you start to hit into multiple double plays in a row, then you might want to just take the 1,000 stub hit and redraft if you have the stubs, if you're willing to do so. There is some risk involved with doing this. I want to mention that as well. But if you notice, I hit into a double play after lowering the confidence a little bit. It was lower than halfway, which is what I'm looking for early on. Within the first 5 outs, I'm trying to get his confidence lowered below halfway. I'm also probably trying to see around 40 to 50, 60 pitches before I get 10 outs or so, or in that range for the entire showdown. Sometimes I've been able to score 16 runs looking at only 60 pitches or so in total. They just start to throw the ball right down the middle, and that's what you're looking for. If you notice a lot of these hits, I'm waiting for a pitch down the middle. The lower the confidence, the more times they're going to hang a breaking ball, the more times they're going to throw a fastball up in the zone where you can drive it. Now, if you have zone hitting, you're able to control where you're going to swing your bat. That's the most important thing, I think, as well. So there are different variables that go into completing this mode, but I've been trying to provide as much evidence as possible. The reason why I'm making multiple videos on this thing is because this is a brand new mode in the game, and even though I've made multiple videos on it, people still ask me, how are you completing these diamonds so quickly? How are you unlocking these cards? So I'm going to show you. I completed it 3 times in this video. I'm not going to take you through 3 complete rounds of Showdown, but I did about 2 rounds of complete Showdown. I did fast forward there towards the end. But we are able to complete it 3 times. We got these vouchers. These vouchers are important. You're only able to use these AL or NL vouchers if you're on stage 2, though. So you'll still have to complete the individual division for stage 1, to get to 70 to unlock stage 2. And once you hit that threshold, you're not able to stack those first stages vouchers. You are able to get full value out of one, though. Let's say you're at 69 points, you put in a voucher, you are able to get to 73 or 3 points at stage 2 for the next round. Now that goes the same thing. If you're at 69 points and you do an exchange, which is 10, then you will be at 9 points for stage 2 starting. So you don't lose any points that way. You will still get the full value for one exchange or one voucher, but once you get that full value, you'll be locked into stage 2. So therefore, you will have to complete the AL or NL vouchers and only be able to use those ones in stage 2, of course. So that's how they've been able to keep you from stacking those vouchers. Anyway, I'm trying to provide as many tips as I can throughout the entirety of the video. Some people will watch part of the video, comment, and say that this is impossible, and they won't watch the rest of it when I'm talking about some tips. So it is what it is, but we are able to unlock Josh Young, and I've been saying some of these guys' names wrong. This card is pronounced Josh Young, and I'll try and get a lot of these names correct. But we did have some vouchers left over. Because I completed the Showdown 3 times, I was able to unlock 60 points. I was at 48. I did the moment for Josh Young. You saw me complete that moment, and that got me to 50. So I'll use the remaining vouchers towards the Yankees and try to unlock Clark Schmidt maybe a little bit later today. But this has only taken me about an hour of time to complete Showdown three times. I would say about an hour and 20 minutes, give or take a few minutes here and there. I didn't exactly time it, but I was, looked at the time right around the time I started. I took a little break here and there, and then looked at the time when I finished, about an hour and a half or so. So give or take a few minutes here and there, but that's a rough estimate. Just wanted to talk about that. We get some Ballin' as a Habit packs along this way. I've earned 13 or 14 of these Ballin' as a Habit packs now. Yeah, this is my 14th Future Star Diamond. You get one for each of them. You get one Ballin' pack as well as some Team Affinity packs. I recently leveled up to 75. You saw the first part of the video. I was at like level 75 or level 76 gold. So I have been leveling up through the XP reward path pretty quickly, even skipping all the way to the end or the final showdown. I know that you get more XP if you play each and every mission, so there is that opportunity as well. Here are the stats for this Ozzie Smith. This is the brand new set headliner card. Really low power switch hitter, great fielding, great speed, great contact versus both sides. We also have a couple player of the month cards. We have Tyler Glasnow as well as Didi Gregorius with a couple nice bat skins. This Tyler Glasnow is alright. I mean, good budget pitcher for free. Throws pretty hard, 91 velocity. We'll get the fastball up to 99. I don't think he'll touch 100 consistently because he does not have the outlier quirk. But he does have decent per nines, 79, 80 is okay. If you have a lot of these Future Star cards, you might not use this pitcher. I'm not going to use him. I have 3 Future Stars pitchers, as well as Hal Newhouser, Corey Kluber. But if there's an event for some of these Player of the Month cards, this card right here, Didi Gregorius, might make a Ranked Seasons team, might make my Ranked Seasons team for a little bit. This card's very good, and you can also prestige him. If you go into the player program, he is prestigeable to a 95 overall red prestige diamond. That's awesome. And his stats will also increase by 3 attributes for that. So we'll take a look at his attributes after he's been prestige. 96, 100, 94, 82. So he does meet those thresholds for the contact at 80, the power at 80, the vision's at 90. That's nice. Clutch at 95 for when the controller's vibrating or if you have runners in scoring position. He'll also have pretty decent fielding. 84 with 87 reaction, 74 speed's pretty good. Solid budget, free shortstop for completing the 100 stars or 100 points in this program right here. This bat skin is also really nice. Prestige Red Lightning bat skin. I wonder what the contact attributes and power attributes are on that. But let me know what you all think about this video. Thank you all for watching. I'm College Lefty, and I'll see you in the next one. Hopefully I helped you out in some way. Peace out.